This is going to go to Mr. Yancey first. Millennials that have grown up in Newport News are wanting to leave the city with the first opportunity they get, claiming there is a lack of opportunity here. What will you do to encourage millennials to stay in the city? This goes to you first, Mr. Yancey.
Well, thank you. There's a couple of things. One, I grew up in this community. I left to go out of state, to go to university and all that good stuff. And then I came back here because I knew that there was a great quality of life and great opportunities for me to start my own business. Now, yes, I did work and still do some services in a family-run business. That is true. But I also knew that Newport News was a great place to live. It was a great place to be able to do the things that I wanted to do. So I think for me, it's an issue of marketing and it's an issue of cooperation. Bear with me because I'm going to try and do this in a quick 3 minutes. When we're talking about marketing, the young people are right. What do we know and what do we advertise about the great things that Newport News has to offer? I mean, we've got a shipyard. We build some of the most complicated things in the entire world for the national defense of our country. And yet, there's almost this sense of a meh approach to it. You have NASA Langley right over here. We are flying jets, we are repairing jets, and we're sending things up into outer space. And all you got to do is go to the Eastern Shore and see them launch the rockets. Some of the most exciting stuff going on. In fact, not only that, but we even have with the military here, we have new technologies in unmanned systems. I mean, I'm just highlighting just a few things. We've got the port, the marine terminal, great opportunities there. When you factor in the sister city relationships that we have in Germany, one that I hope we'll have in France, Japan, and China, these are great opportunities for you to be an ambassador for the city of Newport News and for your business to be able to go overseas. And the cooperation is, and this will probably get to another question at some point, but the cooperation is the state of Virginia needs to back these localities like Newport News on the great things that Virginia has to offer so that we can recruit businesses here or we can expand businesses here. I would encourage everybody to go look at the October 21st edition of The Economist where they talk about the cities that are being left behind, but what states are doing to support those cities so they can have a strong economy. And one of the things that I think we can do and we should be doing, and it's a shame on us that we're not doing, and I'm determined to make sure that we do it, is what states like South Carolina do, where they flex their muscles when they bring in a business, so they bring in the entire supply chain. They bring in the entire industry and all the support that's needed, and they move it from one place to another out of the port of South Carolina. States like South Carolina and states like Alabama have gone to great lengths to outmarket Virginia, and they've gone to great lengths to out-hustle Virginia, and I think there are things that we can do to be competitive with those states, and I think that there are great things that this state is doing now, and I think if our young people knew about it, they would be excited about it, would want to stay here, and would want to take advantage of one of the best states in the nation to do business in, and certainly one of the best cities.
Great. Simonds.
So I find it very interesting to hear my opponent talk about promoting Newport News after he's just spent a whole lot of money on mail denouncing our school board in Newport News Public Schools. And as a realtor, there are, I'm sure, people who are trying to sell houses right now at Newport News and do not appreciate their own delegate running a negative campaign against our school system. So I'm sorry, I just have to say that. In terms of attracting people to our city, I think it's really important to look at millennials and young people and what they are interested in. They want to live in green cities that have sidewalks, that have bike paths, that have parks, and that have good public transit. And I believe that we have done a good job getting the regional gas tax together to address some of our deficient highways and roads. We've done that. That's great. But we need to start looking seriously at public transit and how we are going to pay for bus replacements in the future. Right now there are bonds that fund public transit that are set to expire in 2019, and as far as I can tell, there's no plan in the General Assembly for how we are going to fund public transit in the future. So if we want to attract headquarters of companies like Amazon, we need to have a metropolitan area, a regional transit system that connects Newport News to Hampton. We need to think regionally about transit because that is something that these large multinational companies really want to see in a community. And when I'm up in the General Assembly, I'm going to make that top priority is making sure we have the funding for bus rapid transit on the peninsula, and also to improve our bike paths and sidewalks in the city.
Great, Mr. Yancey, you have the opportunity for a response, rebuttal if you'd like.
I mean, listen, I think if you read the ads, it's very clear. I'm not blasting the schools. I'm just blasting some of the decisions with taxpayer dollars on how to fund our schools. And my issue insofar as trying to hurt the schools, on the contrary, I'm working with Newport News Schools about workforce development. I'm working with Newport News Schools to introduce legislation for workforce teachers. I'm working with Newport News Schools to address some of our issues. I would remind everybody in this room that I was at the Ferguson Center announcement. We had the governor, we had members of Congress there. Everybody was talking about Newport News. Everybody was talking about Virginia. But when I got up to speak, I was the one that talked about Newport News Public Schools and what a great job that they're doing. So I certainly support our schools, and I support our schools, and I'm working with realtors, and I was endorsed by the Virginia Realtors Association because I know this is a very important quality of life issue. I think going back to the core message to our young people is that there are great opportunities here already, and that we are doing everything we can to promote an exciting opportunity for you with a low regulatory environment, holding the line on income taxes, trying to make it easier to start your business, and wherever we can get the funding to help you as you begin to launch. When you factor in all the things that we have in this community, it's very exciting. And I will leave you with this final note. I serve as the chairman of the Governor's Aerospace Advisory Council, and one of the conversations that I had with a company, when I told them about all the things that we have in this community, including the Denby Aviation Academy, which I helped to get about $500,000 in the most recent budget, they don't know about any of this stuff, and they're shocked. And so here I'm thinking to myself, what is the state of Virginia doing to make certain that these companies know that there's great cities like Newport News with great people who are prepared to enter into the workforce or start their own businesses, and what can we do to make sure that's going forward? And if I'm doing my time. I got one more thing.
You're a little bit over, so if you
I'll stop there.
You can pick it up. You can pick it up in the next one. This